Moon Knight to me.
Okay, so basically nobody expected the MCU to last as long as it has, and after a decade and a half of adventures starring largely recognizable characters, Kevin Feige is grinding his fingertips down to stumps trying to scrape something exciting out of the splintering, blood-dampened bottom of the IP barrel. Hope you liked your Avengers, kids, because here comes 6 hours of live-action content starring Captain Who Gives a Shit and his nemesis, Obscurio.
Tom.
Hashtag Power Pack Movie 2023, everybody, but while we wait,
Tom.
let's slop ladles full of Moon Knight into the cultural trough.
Tom, please, I know all that already. I already have a Captain Who Gives a Shit Funko Pop. I meant explain Moon Knight the character.
Oh, sure. Okay, so basically, Mark Spector, aka Moon Knight, was first introduced back in 1975 as a mercenary who was hired by some bad guys to punch a werewolf to death.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he's all decked out in werewolf fighting gear. Silver clothes, silver batarangs, brass knuckles, but they're silver. Everything you could ask for to fight a werewolf. It's sort of his thing.
Oh, metal, so he's a werewolf fighter.
Right. Until Marvel changed their minds.
Okay.
Not long after his first appearance, the writers decided that Moon Knight wasn't a guy who got hired to punch a werewolf to death. He wasn't a guy who got hired to punch a werewolf to death at all. He was actually a special forces veteran / mercenary chosen by the Egyptian moon god Khonshu as the embodiment of ancient justice.
Oh, thank God, being a werewolf fighter would have been ridiculous and difficult to believe.
Right. So basically, now Mark Spector was a man haunted by his nefarious past, using his not inconsiderable ill-gotten wealth to stop crime in its tracks with an assortment of gadgets, gizmos, and moon-related paraphernalia.
Oh, classic Marvel. Where's he operating?
New York City, baby!
NYC!
And it's a good thing, too, because before he showed up, the only superhero defending New York City was Spider-Man,
And the Fantastic Four.
Daredevil,
Doctor Strange.
all of the Avengers.
The X-Men were like 35 minutes out.
Punisher was usually around.
Luke Cage, Iron Fist.
Alpha Flight could probably swing by in a pinch, and so on. In any case, Mark Spector goes undercover by using auxiliary personas to infiltrate New York's underworld, then stomps out crime as the vigilante Moon Knight.
Okay, so Moon Knight investigates wrongdoings for the people of New York City by pretending to be other people, and then he dons a superhero outfit and fights for them.
Right, until Marvel changed their minds.
Okay.
As the story progressed, Spectre was reimagined by different creative teams. While he once used disguises and alter egos to fight crime, it was later revealed that those personas were actually dissociated identities brought on by Spectre's own psychological instability. And you know what that means.
Ill-conceived, poorly researched appropriation of mental illness for the sake of comic book malarkey?
You got it. Throughout the rest of the 80s and 90s, Moon Knight is saddled with all manner of catch-all pop psychiatric diagnoses. Sometimes he's schizophrenic. Sometimes he has dissociative identity disorder.
Okay, so Moon Knight is...
Until Marvel changed their minds.
Son of a bitch.
By the 2000s, Moon Knight had been retooled so many times that even he wasn't sure who he was anymore. Chosen avatar of an extra-dimensional Egyptian god, lunatic with a penchant for physical violence. Heck, the guy barely even hung out with werewolves anymore, and that used to be his whole thing. It was all overwhelming enough that he could barely ride his helicopter through downtown Manhattan anymore.
Wait, who let him get a helicopter?
Don't worry, he's not flying it. He has a French friend named Frenchie with a Pepe Le Pew accent and a little mustache. He's been doing that for him since day one.
Oh, wow, that sounds pretty stupid. So how has Frenchie changed over the years?
He hasn't. Marvel pretty much knocked it out of the park with him at their first at-bat.
So what kind of guys does Moon Knight fight?
All sorts of classic villains. There's an evil version of Moon Knight, and another evil version of Moon Knight. I'm pretty sure I brought up that there was a werewolf at one point. I could go on.
Oh, could you?
I could not, no.
Okay, good. So with so many takes on Moon Knight across the decades, what version of the character can we expect from the Disney Plus series?
That would be none of them.
I don't understand. What's this Moon Knight's deal?
Well, this version of Moon Knight is really less of a character and more of an opportunity for Oscar Isaac to carve his name into the third of four of the biggest film franchises in history.
Oh yeah, he has not popped up in Harry Potter yet, huh?
Well, never say never. He could always pop up in the inevitable Quidditch Through the Ages spinoff.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Tom from OK. So basically, thank you so much for watching. I promised I wouldn't say anything, but it would mean a lot to Nina if you would like and subscribe. You see, she's never been liked before or subscribed.